We're not actually in the podcast right now. We haven't done an intro. This is random. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Down Once More. Matt here, and Raley is back this week again. We will see how this episode goes because we spent about 20 minutes before this because Raley's internet likes to keep kicking her off the recording. So we will see. I think you heard me talk because you froze. We'll see how this goes, but we are we're not doing a movie review this week. We did not discuss what movie we will be reviewing this month. So we'll see what the September movie review will be. But this week we're going to talk some Wicked trailer stuff. The Wicked movie trailer 2 dropped this week. Or the past week. You just
sound like a Bostonian when you said that.
I know. You're wicked
have
smart.
Some Wicked talk tonight.
Some wicked
tack.
Yeah. And so we're going to talk Wicked trailer, and we're going to do vocal warm-ups. We haven't done vocal warm-ups in a while, so we're going to bring that back. Yep, you will get to listen to us sing, but not really. I'll explain that when we get into it. But
Don't stop yet. Don't stop watching.
Don't shut us off yet.
Stay here. I promise we're not going to sing. Are we?
I don't plan on it. Maybe you will be. We'll see as the night goes on. Maybe not. But before we get into vocal warm-ups, Raley, how's it hanging? What's crack-a-lacking? What's new with you?
It's hanging appropriately and directionally as it should. I'm good. Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to.
Touche. That's on me.
I am good. I'm excited to be back and doing this again. I don't have any idea really what I'm going to talk about yet with vocal warm-up, so I'm going to let it roll.
Nice.
I've got one prepared, so it's going to be exciting. It's going to see what lightning strikes. It's going to be awesome.
I'm excited.
I have 60 seconds for lightning to strike me twice in a row, so
I'm excited.
It should be exciting.
So the last time you were on here and we did a truly random episode, it's been a hot minute. It's been 9 months, almost 10 months. So we've had a lot of new listeners, viewers since then. So you don't know what you're getting into. But basically, these episodes are a little bit chaotic, usually. But it's just fun. What vocal warm-ups are, and then we'll get into it, is we each have a timer. We got 60 seconds to get through 3 topics. So the intent behind this, when I pitched this, I'm like, we should start doing this on the pod, was I'm like, 60 seconds, that's how long you do for Reels, TikToks. I'm going to put out so many clips. We're going to get so many views. You know how many times I have made a clip or a Reel from that and put it out? 0 times. 0 times. But
none times.
But what usually ends up happening.
Do we have so literally have no vocal warm-ups that are worthy of a clip? Is that what you're telling me?
We do. It's just usually it's just like a minute of getting through things faster, and then we spend like 5 minutes talking about it afterwards. And so and I don't have time to cut as many clips.
Yeah, I don't. Okay,
it's laziness as well.
That's really time consuming.
Mm-hmm. That was the one nice thing. So if you've listened to last week's episode, you know, I was a guest on the Brewcast this past week, and it was really nice to be on someone else's podcast. I just had to show up, talk, and then done. Like the work was done after the little over an hour recording. Yeah. It's a nice feeling, isn't it?
It's pretty sweet, right?
You're like a constant guest. It's great. So if anyone wants, I'd love to be a guest on your podcast. That's relieving, and I just get to yap and not worry about it. So, and I have well, that's not true. I do have somewhat of a life, and it seems like I'm always busy for not having any kids or really any social life or friends outside to go do things with. I'm busier than you would think, but I'm going on a work trip.
Mostly not editing our clips into Reels.
Exactly. I'm going on a work trip, and my in-laws are going to come to my house, and they're going to do some house projects while I'm gone, which is fantastic because you know how much I want to do those house projects? Not at all. But I was told that rooms might be getting painted, shit might be going down. So I'm going to walk into a new house. But that's the great part about me. I'm like, is my bed still there? The TV still there? Then I'm good. I'm a simple man.
Do I still live here?
Yeah, I don't I just stay out. That's how I try to keep the peace. I'm like, when it comes to design and decor, I'll let you make those calls. And like one thing, she's like, I think I want to do wallpaper on this wall. And I'm like, I really don't want to do wallpaper on the wall. But if they do wallpaper while
Just because
I'm
you don't
gone,
want to do the wallpapering.
exactly. We did that growing
Right.
up once at one house. It is a pain in the
Oh,
ass. And I mean, now it's different. But like when I was growing up, you have to do all the paste and shit like that,
you
and
have to
then
actually
taking it
literally
off
like
the
glue
walls.
it to the
Yeah.
wall.
And so
Yeah.
I get that's not what you
Yeah, it's
do
brutal.
now. But I still don't want to do that. Like I hate putting a fucking screen protector on my phone and worrying about the bubbles there. You think I want to worry about that with wallpaper on the wall, and
A whole room
especially
of it
pattern
haunting you.
ones, and trying to get them to line up nice and look good? Nope, nope, nope. Fuck that noise. But if wallpaper is put up while I'm gone and I don't have to do the wallpaper, then I'm okay. I also don't want to give the opinion that I don't do anything around the house. I do a lot around the house. I contribute.
I'm sure that you do.
I do.
I'm sure that you do.
But those weren't any of my topics. I do have, in true fashion, I have like 10 things written down for my vocal warm-ups. And so it's always a game time decision. That's what I always do, because I just throw things in my notes app as I think of them. And then I have way too many, and then it's hard for me to choose which one to discuss. So, but I'm going to make you go
Should be
first.
exciting. I'm going to time you first, or I'm going to give my
You're going to give
lightning
yours
striking
lightning
amazingness.
striking amazingness first. That'll be the plan. Ooh, look, you can see a reflection. Kind of.
Oh, that's cool. The
Perception.
mirror of me.
Yep.
Hello, me.
Okay. Let me know when you're
Okay.
ready.
My pitiful one little topic. Here we go. I am ready.
Okay, my phone went dark, so I didn't see it. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so I'm taking my son to Disney on Ice this weekend, and I was really excited. And then I got really, really disappointed because in my mind, for some reason, those Disney characters who were skating on the ice were also supposed to be singing those Disney songs. And come to find out, after I bought the tickets, they are not Broadway performers that happen to also be really good skaters. They just lip sync and like do hand motions as if they're singing, and I'm really disappointed. But I can't tell my kid that because he's really excited. So number 2, I have recently started watching Interview with the Vampire, the recent one that like came out 2 years ago, I think, on Netflix. And considering maybe if you think there's going to be interest, we could do a few like little mini episodes on that because I think there's a lot to unpack in that. It could be cool if you've seen it. I don't know if you have or not. If you haven't, and if you're into that kind of shit, you should watch it. Okay, third thing. I started my own publishing business. I haven't told you any of this, but I have hired a ghostwriter who's going to be helping me write books, and I'm going to be publishing them on Amazon.
Nice.
Yay!
That's exciting. Now, if
And I
you
did it in exactly 2 seconds. I'm so proud of myself.
if you tell everyone that you're hiring a ghostwriter, does that defeat the purpose of a ghostwriter?
No, it doesn't, because I'm still considered the author.
Okay.
And a ghostwriter is hired with the understanding that they will receive 0 credit for what the work that they do as a writer.
Okay.
The author receives all the credit. In this case, I will be the author, but I'm writing under a pen name. I will not be Raley Ewing on Amazon. I will have a pen name, an author's name. And I will be publishing books and making some damn money.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, what's the reason for using a pen name? Are you writing smut, Rayleigh?
It's rated.
Are you writing the
It's
dragon
about
porn books? Isn't that the cool thing now, apparently? Like the
shape-shifting, steamy romance books are extremely popular on Amazon. I'll have you know, I am not writing about shape-shifting romance, which includes vampires and werewolves and all the shape-shifting mythical creatures, right?
Okay.
The like fantasy romance is really hot. But no, I have joined a course to pay for this course, but they give you all their little secrets, right?
It's a pyramid scheme.
And you basically, no, it's actually not, which I'm really impressed that because I did a lot of research before I joined these people.
Smart.
I have seen a lot of scams out there, and I was certain these guys were a scam. Like I was certain of it. And after researching it and now joining it, I can tell you that it is not. Because they don't own any rights to your books. They just teach you how to do it, and then you're on your own. You make your own money. You have no ties to them after that, so that's good. Anyway, they've cracked the code, the Amazon code. So they have the algorithm down pat, and they understand, like, you can get little software tools that can break down sales in Amazon per book and break it down by like categories and niches and topics and keywords and things like that. So they've cracked the algorithm and tells you what people are buying. And then you hire someone, or if you're in my case, and I'm a writer as well, so I either write my own or I can collaborate with someone. And then I publish them based on what everybody's buying. And my books, in an ideal world, will be sold just like the rest of them.
Nifty.
Mm-hmm. I know, I'm
Nifty,
excited.
nifty.
I'm excited.
That is exciting.
It's a great way to have passive income come in if it works.
Passive income is nice.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Mine is the
Hence the ghostwriter, because then I don't have to do all of the work.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hire someone to help me do a lot of the work. Then I do the posting. Oh, and there's no, it's like ebooks only. So there's no overhead. There's no printing and selling of actual physical books.
Nice.
It's all digital. So there's no like inventory or overhead costs, which is really great. So I shall see.
Nifty.
We'll talk in like a month or two, and I'll tell you. I mean, we're going to talk before then. What I'm saying is, in a month or two, I will have an update as to whether or not this is working.
Nice. That is exciting.
Thank you. I'm excited about it. I'm not excited about Disney on Ice.
But
whatever.
That's fair. However,
I don't know why I thought these people were supposed to be like 18 different talents in one. I don't know why I assumed they were going to be like the most talented humans in the world on Disney.
Yeah, I can't do either of those things, sing or ice skate. And ice skating,
and I'm mad at them that they can't do both.
Yeah. I feel like that's a pretty.
What's wrong with me?
I guess the professionals make it look effortless, but it takes some talent, takes some skill. So to be able to
definitely does
put out a solid belt while doing that, I would be very impressed. That would be significantly more impressive if they could do that as well.
It might explain why the tickets were not that expensive.
Because
if they had a cast that could do all of that, they could definitely charge more than they did for the tickets. But now I'm just going to be like, all these people are doing is skating. They're not even singing.
But you'll still have the music in the background, I'm sure, right?
Right. The whole idea is they put up all your favorite Disney songs and your characters come out and they dance to it. But whatever. I'm over it. All right, your turn.
Clearly.
You ready?
Yeah.
Shut up. Okay, where the heck is my thing? Stopwatch. Why I had it on 4 hours and 55 minutes, I don't know.
Nice.
Okay. Are you ready, my friend?
Yep. Coming down, I'm ready to go.
I gave you a countdown.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Speaking of Disney music, I'm really excited because Disney released their A Whole New Sound like covers album with pop punk artists. That's like their officially licensed thing. So it's got like We the Kings, Newfound Glory, Yellow Card, Magnolia Park does a cover of Eye to Eye from a Goofy movie, and it is fantastic. Love that. Second, I have started rewatching the show White Collar that was on USA that stars Matt Bomer, who's just an insanely attractive man, and I think he's just born to wear suits. Like, I cannot imagine him in like a t-shirt and jeans. Like, he needs to only be wearing suits. And then here's my real niche reference on here. We're recording this on Friday night. Tomorrow night, AEW Wrestling All Out in Chicago. There's going to be a lights out steel cage match between Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland that he burned down his childhood home in the last video package. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be fun. So I'm excited about that. And that's my last thing.
Okay. Let's unpack that for a moment. Disney covers. Does that include the Panic at the Disco cover from Frozen 2? No, Into the Unknown, because that cover is amazing.
That cover is amazing.
Or is this all new songs that are not featured in movies?
They're from movies, but it's a new cover album. That's Disney licensed. So this is the full track listing. They're not the ones that already have covers on the albums. No, they're new recording ones. So this is the official lineup and who does it. Part of Your World by Newfound Glory. Remember Me by Mayday Parade. Can You Feel the Love Tonight performed by Simple Plan. Eye to Eye by Magnolia Park. A Whole New World by Yellow Card. Go the Distance by We the Kings. Surface Pressure by the Plain White Tees. You've Got a Friend in Me by Meet Me at the Altar, which is the one I haven't listened to them. That I'm not familiar with. You'll Be in My Heart by Boys Like Girls. Colors of the Wind by Tokyo Hotel, also not heard of them. Let It Go by Lolo, also not familiar with them. And then Friend Like Me by Bowling for Soup. So that's the official lineup.
That's sick, dude.
Album.
That is a
Yeah.
sick lineup. I'm not gonna lie. That is a very sick. I mean, those names are names that I want in my lifetime forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
And
great.
to hear them do new music for them that is old music for me is like the perfect paradox of wonderment and joy and happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When is this coming out?
Now. I think today is when it officially dropped. It's out now.
Okay, well,
Apple
I have to
Music,
get off this podcast
Spotify,
because I have to go
all
listen
that
to
stuff.
it.
Yep.
So that's amazing.
Yes.
Second thing that you said was
Matt Bomer in White Collar.
Oh, Matt Bomer.
Suits.
Wait, is Matt Bomer? I can't.
He's in Magic Mike.
He's not the one in Suits, right? I'm thinking of that guy, but that's not him.
No, that is not him.
I can't remember his name, but
White Collar was also on USA, and he also wears a suit. He was like an art thief forger, and he ends up working with the FBI. Neil Caffrey is his character's name. I never watched it. It's a good show. It's on Hulu and Netflix. But
all right, I'm on a long list of shows that I have to see.
Yeah, I think there's.
I recently started Log.
You were on a loop for me. Okay. We are back now. Yes, we shall continue. We are back. We had technical difficulties. Rayleigh's mic started looping on. I don't know if it's.
I was just trying to give you some good like rave music, like. I'm trying to get you what was like? What did it sound like on your end? It was like
similar. Yeah, similar to that. My new thing, what I've been doing when there are technical difficulties and there were breaks, because I did this on 1 week with Brad. So I forget what he had to go do. I don't think it was technical difficulties. I think he heard like water dripping. He thought there was maybe a leak somewhere, and he went to investigate and then came back and there was a little bit of random bullshit. I just sped the shit up, and so then it just sounded like chipmunks were talking for about 10 seconds. So I condensed like the 5 minutes into 10 seconds. So that's probably what we did there. And that's what I did last one we did together when we had the technical difficulties too. So that's my new strategy. Instead of cutting a chunk out, leaving it in, and just cranking the speed of the video up to like 1,000. But we were talking about Matt Bomer. And how I think he just needs to only wear suits. That's like he looks like someone who is just made to wear a suit. Like he looks like he needs to wear a suit. Well, now you're making no sound. I cannot hear you. I think did you hit mute? I don't believe that you didn't. I can tell you're mouthing you didn't touch anything. But you have no bars of sound. That just looked like you were lingering him. Are you sure you did not touch anything? I think if you've been following the podcast for a while, I think it was like the first episode we had together that Rayleigh had ghosts. So, the ghosts are fucking with her shit. So we're gonna try this again.
I'm just gonna be just.
You just can't help yourself. You just said you weren't going to move, and you just fucking karate chopped your microphone.
I've literally never done that before until the moment I say I'm not gonna touch it. What the fuck, dude? I swear something is messing with me. It's not just me. And one day you're gonna catch it on film. It's gonna like run behind me or something, and you're gonna be like, "Yep, there it was."
Or it's the homeless person in the alleyway watching you.
Don't joke about that. That's real.
I know. Okay. On the off chance that maybe it's like the gay mafia coming after us for talking about Matt Bomer as two straight white people, maybe we're not allowed to talk about his hotness. But
That's an actual possibility.
that
Yes,
could be. So maybe that's what it is.
he's off limits for us.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. He's not for us. So we'll move on to the third topic, with the wrestling burning the house down. But
What the fuck, Matt?
so that match will have happened by the time this episode comes out. But
you are such a strange friend of mine. I love it.
It's a work, which for those of you not familiar with professional wrestling, a work means it's made up for the show. He didn't actually burn down his childhood home.
Professional wrestling is not real?
Well, there are also shoots, which is
You're
like
full
real.
of shit.
No,
I grew up watching Hulk Hogan. That shit's real.
Well, Hulk Hogan is racist, so we don't watch Hulk Hogan anymore. So
never did. But cool, you got
so this feud has been going on for a while. And Swerve, he was the world champion, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, but he just lost the belt at AEW All In last weekend in Wembley in London. And so he lost the championship belt. But Hangman and Adam Page, they've been feuding for a while. And like Swerve went into his house and basically told him he was going to go after his kids. And Hangman has been driven to madness. He was like stapling his daughter's drawing to Swerve's face. And then
not his daughter's drawing.
Yeah, because Swerve was in his house and threatened his daughter. And so then it's shit was going down. But then Swerve was talking about, because of his new contract and how well he's been doing, he was able to fulfill his dream and buy back his childhood home they'd wanted to do. And so then this past Wednesday on Dynamite, Hangman went in and he burned down Swerve's home. Set it on fire. And so
shut up.
They were already having a steel cage match was scheduled for All Out tomorrow night, but now it's lights out steel cage match. And so even more cuckoo banana time. So I'm excited about it. It should be
I have
fun.
A question.
Yes.
Since all of it is so real.
Very real.
Whose house is burning?
Swerve's house.
These promos?
You didn't even plan it, but like that was hit Swerve's, like, it's whose house? Swerve's house. That's the thing. So where you went, whose house? That actually worked really well. If there is even one AEW professional wrestling fan listening, they will know how good of a joke that was on my part and how good of an unintentional setup that was.
Apparently that was really awesome on my part too.
Good job.
But I want to circle back. Are we really burning down houses, or are we pretending to burn down houses?
Well, it is an actual house that was burnt down. They were walking through it. It could be on a set somewhere. It could be in the middle of a desert. I don't think it is next door to Billy Bob and Sue Linda. I don't know. Those are names I thought of. But I don't.
Those are made up names. You sure? I couldn't tell.
I don't think it is in a municipality. And the fire department.
But they're really burning something, is what you're telling me.
They are actually
it's not
burning something.
Like just a discussion about so and so burned a house. No, he didn't. It was like we're gonna actually show a house burning.
It was burning. I'm gonna show you. And it looks like an album cover. The picture is pretty hard. That was a weird way to phrase that, but
well, I have growing concern for you, my friend. Well, that looks real. That looks so real.
That was a video.
Looks really, really real.
Well, I'm gonna find the video now.
What are we gonna do? I mean, we have to know who's gonna win. The thing is, can we just talk about with wrestling?
It could go either way. I don't know who's going to win.
Of course it could.
But
you know what? It's how degrading is it to take the money to throw the match? Like, you have to, one of them has to be the loser. How do they decide who wins and who loses?
It's all about the
Is it whoever's
storytelling.
willing to take less money
They have a creative
is the
team of
one who's going to
writers.
lose?
No, they're all on long-term contracts. And so they have the creative team that are writers that a lot of the wrestlers can help pitch their creative direction and where they're going. But ultimately, there's a team that comes up with the storylines, because that's a whole big part of the wrestling is the story. So here's no, we're getting into a professional wrestling breakdown here from my
I have many
years of
questions. So
wrestling.
you know what? We can just forget the Wicked thing today.
Yeah.
I need to talk to you about wrestling because
Yes, wrestling.
I have many questions.
Okay.
As if you were a true fan of wrestling, I have many questions for you.
Well, I'm more of a casual fan. Like, I really enjoy it. I watch like the big events. I don't always watch the weekly shows because I don't have time. I'm trying to find the video of the house burning down, but there's an event going on right now.
Why do you enjoy watching? Okay, why do you enjoy watching it? Is it
so?
Well, just why do you enjoy watching
because
professional wrestling?
Well, the athleticism is very impressive. So you watch the Olympics. These people,
let's roll that back. Is it athleticism?
They are doing flips off a 12-foot ladder.
Like, hard mattress.
No. Well, if they were just throwing themselves, yes. But they're doing flips. They're doing all sorts of shit. It is. I'll send you a video.
Flips, I'll give you.
You need to check out Will Ospreay is one of my favorite wrestlers. He's in AEW. Okay. And he is insanely talented. His nickname is the Aerial Assassin, but he's doing all sorts of fantastic.
That's an awesome name.
Yeah. And he's partnered with like Ubisoft with the Assassin's Creed video game franchise and all sorts of things. It's pretty legit. And so,
okay, that's cool. I like Assassin's Creed.
The athleticism is impressive. I mean, I don't know. I enjoy it. Sometimes the storylines are like, I enjoy some of the storylines when they can get you bought in, but it still needs to be an interesting match and the drama that they put on that unfolds too. So it's like a soap opera. You know, a soap opera is fake. It's essentially a little bit like a soap opera, but then you add in some physicality and athletic feats too that are staged.
And so a lot of drama, really big, muscly, sweaty men
and women.
Right?
And women.
And women. Thank you. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. When I think of professional wrestling, I think of men, but you are correct. There is a whole side of it that is women.
Well, because back in the day, the women's side was the divas, and it was just a lot more like just sexualized. Right.
And they were just half naked women carrying fucking signs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's more.
And so now there are women who actually wrestle. And I have a lot of respect for them. It's funny that I have a respect.
Yeah.
It's funny that I have respect for the female wrestlers, but I don't have respect for the male wrestlers. That tells you a lot about me. I would like to know these storylines. You can't get the whole story while they're up there for the match, right? So how do you follow the storyline from start to finish? Like, I'm assuming this, if you're viewing this as like a long-term thing, right? You know, so-and-so started.
It's been going on for months.
So-and-so, and now he's this, and then you're going to go over there and beat that guy. And then his house got burned down by his rival. And like, how do you follow said tragedy of a story, or like interlooping dialogues and like storylines that are just freaking years old? How do you follow that shit?
That's fair. So every week, I mean, they have time where they're cutting promos. So they're having time on the mic. They're talking. They're telling a story around the matches. And then for the big events, the pay-per-view.
And this is on like TV? Or you're like watching online?
WWE is on going to be on Netflix in 2025, but USA and Fox. And tonight is actually the last SmackDown on Fox. And then their premium live events are on Peacock. So WrestleMania, SummerSlam, all those are on Peacock. So you can watch them on there. And AEW, they're on TNT and TBS. And then they do actual like pay-per-views still. So like for their main events that you pay for them like you would like a boxing or a UFC thing. Those cards, the big events, and both companies, there's rumors AEW's gonna announce a new media partnership at All Out tomorrow, that maybe they're gonna be on Max or something like that. We'll see. But both of these companies, because they know that there's people who aren't watching every Monday and Friday, or for AEW there's weekly shows on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. They know you're not always watching that. You can't always keep up with it, follow it. So at their big main shows, they have video packages that play that kind of recap the feud and what's happened so far. So,
And you could buy that if you want to watch the match. You can buy the package to view their story before you watch the match.
they play
Am I
it
correct in
before the
that?
match. So like when you're watching the premium live event or pay-per-view event, so they're usually about 3 to 4 hours long. And so there will be a match. And then before the next match starts, they'll show like a video package that plays before they do their intros and everything like that for the match. That kind of recaps where the feud's at and what's going on with it. And sometimes there's matches that's just these are two talented people and there's not really a storyline going between it. It's just they need to fight someone this week.
Just
And
entertaining people to watch.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Last question.
Yeah.
I don't do cable TV, and I don't know many people who still have cable TV. Like, my entire life is all streaming services, right? Like, cable TV is ridiculously expensive, and for me to watch none of it, it's stupid for me to pay for it. Do you still have cable TV?
No. I watch.
I didn't think you did.
No, I don't. I have a Peacock subscription, and on Hulu. So like the ones that are on Fox and USA, you can watch them on Hulu on the next day. And same with the AEW ones. They're usually on there the next day as well. Or you might have to have the TBS or TNT app. Like I don't typically watch the weekly ones. I'll watch like clips of matches online on social media.
Okay.
But I rarely miss a premium live event or a pay-per-view because they're usually that's where everything culminates.
We've been friends for I don't know how long we've been friends, for a solid 15 years. And if you count when we first met, and we weren't really friends then, but I'm counting that because we knew each other we've known each other for 15 years. And I did not know before tonight. You may have mentioned it casually, but I did not know that you were
Here's the thing.
I don't know. You describe yourself as a casual viewer, but it sounds to me like you are an avid viewer because you've rarely missed a paid event on Peacock.
That's fair.
So I did not know this about you, and it fascinates me. I'm fascinated by people who love professional wrestling. I don't understand it.
I don't go as again.
I watch a lot of reality TV, and there's a lot of people who are like, "Fuck reality TV." So I guess
I enjoy both.
Own, right?
I enjoy both. Wrestling is just reality TV with then the matches. Like AEW does a lot more. Big
sweaty men and women.
Yeah, AEW does a lot more of the hardcore stuff. So like WWE is all still PG. They don't do blood anymore. They don't really do that much hardcore stuff. So every once in a while, they'll still throw people through tables. AEW still goes all out on some of it. They'll do the thumbtacks. People will be bleeding all over the place. They do ladder matches all the time. Yeah, that's what you do. You dump thumbtacks on the mat and then flip them onto the thumbtacks.
What?
Yeah.
But that can't be real, right?
It is. Like, they have thumbtacks.
That man is really falling with his back on a bunch of thumbtacks?
Yes. Did you never watch The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke?
No.
Okay, you didn't watch The Wrestler.
Why, really? Because I don't like wrestling.
Well, you didn't watch
Probably
that.
Not a reason to go and see a movie.
I said it was coming to streaming. It's coming to Netflix this month on the 15th, is Heels. It was a Starz series. It stars Stephen Amell, who played Arrow in the show Arrow. And it's really good.
Is this the show about the women who become wrestlers?
No, that's a Glow.
Which is a Netflix series. I did watch a couple episodes of that, which I didn't like. But
Heels is more, he works in a small town. Like his dad had this small town wrestling promotion, the Duffy Wrestling League. And so it shows like more behind the scenes, like what goes into the career. Like it's a fictionalized story, but a lot of it's like he worked with people in the wrestling community, and he is a hardcore wrestler. Like he's a wrestling fan, and he's wrestled in matches, both in WWE and AEW before, because he's just really into it. And so is a passion project he did with, I'm blanking, Michael Waldron, who wrote WandaVision and Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, the Marvel movies. And so he produced and worked on the show Heels, and it was on Stars, and it got canceled after 2 seasons. But Netflix is picking it up now to show it, and they're hoping it'll get picked up for a 3rd season. But it kind of goes into the behind the scenes for it too, everything that goes into it with trying to come up with the creative and the storylines and that whole world. And it's pretty interesting. I really enjoyed it. I think even if you're not like a wrestling fan, it's an interesting enough show, and the other things that's going for it, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
I will check it out just because you're my friend and because now I'm curious, but I'm not a fan of wrestling. This has helped me understand the wrestling world a bit. So I know we weren't supposed to talk about that tonight.
No, that's fair.
And we can still talk about Wicked if you want.
Yeah.
We can for like a few minutes, but I just learned so much about you
Now you
tonight.
know. I didn't.
So
I'd
much.
never watched wrestling until 2020. I didn't grow up watching it.
2020 did mess with
Wasn't
a
allowed
lot
to
of
watch
people's minds, so I will give you that. Everyone made decisions they probably regret in 2020, and if the worst of yours was you got hooked on professional wrestling, then I think I can allow you that vice.
One of the
It's definitely not for me.
That's fair. One of the podcasts I listened to, the host was really into professional wrestling. So he was tweeting about being at WrestleMania and talking about it on the podcast. And it was 2020, so it was before we were mad at Twitter. I mean, Twitter was still a cesspool, but still wasn't as bad then.
Before Twitter became...
And so, and I'm like, I wonder what WrestleMania is on. I've never watched one. My cousins were really into it, but I was never allowed to watch it growing up. And so I'm like, oh, it's on Peacock.
Yeah, me neither.
I have Peacock. So I flipped it on and I had a lot of fun watching it. I started watching some of them. I've now been to two or three WWE shows because they've come here, and then one AEW show. They were here a couple months ago, and I went, and it's a lot of fun. The energy from the crowd,
I
the
believe
intros.
you.
It's a good time. It's a good time. There are a lot of weirdos.
I believe that the live event would probably be fun. I would probably enjoy a live event just because the live crowd is so much more engaging.
Yeah.
I'd probably enjoy that.
Yeah.
Just because you're there.
Now there are a lot of weird,
I don't think I would ever choose
creepy wrestling fans too. Like there's a lot of I mean, it is professional wrestling, so you're gonna have a lot of the like incel dudes that are just weird. So
I'm sorry, but that is how I don't know. I shouldn't say that, but okay.
That's a stereotype.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I just would never choose to be at that event. However, if somebody invited me and I had a free ticket and I could go and I could get free booze, then I would probably go.
There you go.
And then I'd probably have a good time.
You would.
But I don't see myself ever spending money on that or like choosing to spend a night doing that.
Well,
but hey, whatever.
AEW's
I think it's cool that you're into it.
Home base is
so tomorrow. What am I supposed to watch? If you want to get me hooked, I'll try it out tomorrow. Well, what should I watch?
Tomorrow. It's a live event. It's a pay-per-view one. So unless you want to drop $50, you'll have to wait and get a recap.
I did just say afterwards. I'm not going to spend money on this, didn't I?
So don't
next time.
But yes.
I will not be watching that, but I hope you have a fantastic time watching it.
Well, it's at the same time.
There, if you see this and you watched it and you loved it, then please comment on here and let me know why you loved it. And I will be happy to give anything a try once. But convince me why I should spend time watching it and money.
I'll give my thoughts on it on the next mini episode. But I'm not going to be able to watch it live is the problem. So I'm going to have self-control because the Nebraska-Colorado football game is on at the same time, and that takes priority for me. It just does. That has been a longer fandom than 2020, and so I will most likely
put them both on at the same time.
No, they have to have the full attention. You can't do that.
I mean, you can't.
Which one? No, I can't. I have to give my full attention to the Husker game, and then I will. Fair enough. I have to travel to Indianapolis for a work trip. And I leave Sunday, so I'll probably be watching it on the plane. I'll download it and watch the replay on the plane. But yeah, I'm wearing green and pink for Wicked, and I have the Wicked playbill behind me and my pink fuck off sign. And so we have to talk about Wicked.
And I wore all black for that reason.
Well, that's fitting. Elphaba wears all black. But
You
I also
think I'm gonna be Glinda?
do I do green
No.
lighting or pink
Yeah, you need green
lighting or regular
Oh well,
lighting?
if I'm Elphaba, then I guess you should have pink lighting.
I should have pink lighting.
You are definitely of this friendship. You are definitely the Glinda, and I am definitely the Elphaba. I feel.
Are you serious? You think?
I'm serious. I think
You were the
that you are
blonde
Glinda.
bubbly.
You're way too nice.
One, no.
What? You're way too nice to be Elphaba. I have to be Elphaba because I'm kind of a bitch.
So am I. Okay.
So am I. I'm kind of a bitch
too. You a bitch too, damn it. But
I want to be the mean girl.
We will eventually be reviewing Wicked on the pod when the movie comes out in November.
Yes, and I can't wait.
So remind me, I think we've talked about it before. Have you seen Wicked before?
I have never seen Wicked before.
Have you listened to the soundtrack?
I am a total geek, and of course I've listened to the soundtrack. And I'm a total geek, and I read the book.
Dude, the book is
I read the book.
Dark and different.
Yeah.
Very it's like
so I've never seen the show.
Yeah.
Oh, it's full on in depth. It's a world, right? You get into that world, and it's intense. And let me tell you, those steamy scenes between Elphaba and what the fuck's his face?
Fiyero.
Thank you. Those are fun. They are fun.
Well, and in the book, Fiyero has blue skin.
He has blue skin, and I was really disappointed to find out in the show he does not have blue skin.
He does not have blue skin. Nope.
I was really disappointed.
It's just a white dude.
I was like, she's green. Why can't we make him blue? I don't understand.
Same with Nessa Rose is supposed to be pink. And I guess I took it as I was reading the book like she was actually pink and not like she's a white person with pinkish skin. I took it as like she was pink. I was expecting her to be pink.
Yeah, because everybody else has colored skin. Why can't she have pink skin?
And
they did kind of make it seem like she was pink skin.
That was how I interpreted the book. But
the book is good. If out there you haven't read the book, if you're into reading and you like books, and this one it's a fun one.
Not much.
It's got a lot of things that you're not expecting.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot more adult than the musical.
Definitely.
But so we got trailer 2 this week that we're recording it. It came out yesterday, I think, or today. But a couple other things came out. It was officially announced that it's rated PG, which I'm kind of surprised about.
I didn't know that.
Yep, it's rated PG.
I guess I didn't pay attention when I was looking at the trailer, but
and then
that's disappointing.
It's reported that the official runtime of this is 2 hours and 22 minutes. And previously, John M. Chu, the director, had confirmed that they were still planning on doing part 1 and part 2. So it's still being split up into 2 movies.
Right.
And if the part 1 is 2.5 hours, it makes me a little more nervous about it being split into 2 movies. It's like the stage play is 2.5 hours. And if we're having just part 1 of the movie being that, which I'm all for, like giving some characters more development and making some changes. I'm all for that.
Maybe it'll be more like the book.
Not if it's PG. Like you're already cutting out some of the stuff because spoiler alerts for this 30-year-old musical. There's all the stuff that it's basically heavily implied the wizard is roofing her mom and that's why she's pregnant. And it's a lot more.
He's a really fucked up dude.
Yeah. Well, and like there's that song too where he's like telling her just have a drink of elixir and then heavily implied that he roofied her and that's what Elphaba's his kid and that's what
continued to
she's fucked up because
the
elixir
himself
too.
And
yeah. And so I don't know how you put that in a PG movie. So I don't get that.
How are they going to explain that? Because she's clearly from something that's not right. right? Like she comes from a whole backstory of not
And
good.
I
And I've never seen the show, so I don't know if they go into it in the show. Do they talk about her origin, or does she just show up green?
the wizard has a song. She just kind of shows up green, but then the wizard has a song later on. I forget what the
Yeah.
name of that song is. That's kind of about it. Where it's like him and her mom.
Right.
He's like, have a drink of
Oh,
pure elixir. Um,
yeah. It's
but
the one where he kind of talks about what happened.
yeah,
But
one of my least favorite songs in the cast recording. And so
yeah,
it's not a sentimental man. Is it wonderful? One of those.
maybe.
But anyways, it's just I don't know how you keep that in there. And like I said, I don't love the song, so if they cut it, they like that's one I wouldn't miss too much. But it's also still kind of the crux of the story. Like that whole thing with
Yeah.
Elphaba's relationship with the wizard and finding out those things about him. Like it's not just
Yeah.
because he doesn't have power and that he's doing these other things. It's those other things
Right.
that are implied with her backstory as well. So
That's why she is the way she is. Yeah.
so I don't know. That makes me a little
Concerns.
nervous. And and there's certain things too that seem like it would be in something that's more than a PG movie. Like there's multiple shots in every trailer so far, because we had the first trailer and then we had trailer 2. There was a teaser before that, and then the trailer 2, and then there was an international version of the second trailer this week that had a few slightly different things in it. But every single one has had a scene of this like wicked witch being just burned. Being just like set ablaze. And I feel like that's slightly violent dark imagery. But then when you go back in it like it was back in the day, but like The Hunchback of Notre Dame is rated G. And that is a very dark,
oh my god, that movie should not
animated
be G.
Disney movie.
No, it is definitely not a G-rated
movie. No.
It's definitely not.
No. And so I don't know.
They were a little bit more lenient back then.
Right. So I mean, I get
stuff they included.
There's no swearing in it, really. So like you're not having to worry about that. But I feel like
there's obviously not going to be any explicit scenes of them doing adult things.
But it's like
because that would not be PG.
And in the play, most of it happens off screen. But like in the book, it's very graphic. Like how the scarecrow gets turned into the scarecrow. I won't spoil that explicitly here, but he's being tortured, and then Elphaba turns him into the scarecrow to try to help him from being tortured. So like there's stuff that's very violent and graphic and dark and intense that still happens in the musical. It just happens off screen and it's more like implied. And I thought like if you're doing a movie version, I feel like embrace it, make it PG-13. And I'm worried they're trying to
especially a movie like Wicked, because it is inherently a dark tale. Like it's the whole point of it is to tell the dark side of this Wizard of Oz story and the backside, which is the dark side. Now you can do it in 2 different ways. You can do it like the Aladdin one, the Jafar one. What's it called?
Twisted.
Like
the Team Star Kid
Twisted.
One. That was a lot
we
of fun.
did this episode a long time ago when we first got kicked off. Not when we first got kicked off, but very soon into our podcast.
It was in year 1.
Episode Twisted, and it was so good because it was the hilarious. They took it into it to a completely different like satire direction, right? Like you just make so much fun of it that it's hilarious and done well. And on stage, it's just perfect to do. But in a movie, I don't know that would translate. That kind of humor into a movie probably wouldn't translate as well. So you have those 2 choices. You can do it really funny and like satire, or you can tell the story, which is a dark story. And I feel like the show, Wicked, is a light-hearted version of the dark story of Elphaba and how she becomes the Wicked Witch. So therefore, they are making now a movie that is the lighthearted version of the lighthearted version of the dark story. Can we embrace that? Can we embrace the darkness of it? Because that's kind of the point.
Yeah. And I mean,
I'm annoyed that it's PG. I didn't know that. I'm annoyed.
Yeah,
now I want to see it less.
Yeah. I mean,
still gonna see it, but I want to see it less now.
Yeah. And Cynthia Erivo is insanely talented. That was one of the things we got in trailer 2. Defying gravity is throughout the whole trailer, like a little bit slowed down version of it. So I don't think that'll be the actual version that's in the movie, but it sounds so good. One other thing
Her
though,
talent is unbelievable.
yeah, they're still not
And we have
marketing it.
Ariana Grande, right?
Yeah, Ariana Grande. I'm not sold on her yet. It's just there's something about her, like with the
She looks like
blonde
she's
hair, it
acting.
looks off. She seems like, now I get that character of Glinda is a little more like
Yeah.
bubbly and over the top, like Kristen Chenoweth, very over the top and blah. Like it's
Yeah,
very,
but I
but
don't
that's
know.
like the stage version too. One interesting
Yeah.
thing, I don't know if you noticed this, they changed the tone and like which version. I don't know if they're testing it and trying to figure out, but in both the first trailer and the second one, and even the international one, there's a reaction of when the Elphaba shows up at Shiz and Glinda's like, "You're green." Her tone from
Yeah.
trailer 1 is like, "You're green," and then in trailer 2 it's like, "You're green." Like the tone and the inflection, the line delivery is completely different. So if you go back and watch it, the line delivery is different, and it's
That's
weird.
weird.
And so I don't know if they're trying to see if people reacted differently or while they're editing it, because they do a ton of different takes when they do these things. But it's so weird. And even on this one,
but why change that? That's what's
yeah,
weird.
yeah. So go back and you'll see the line delivery is
Unless
different.
she says it twice in the movie.
She could.
Unless she says, oh, "You're green," and then she says, "You're green."
Yeah.
Maybe she says it twice, and they put both of them in the trailer.
She could.
I don't know. I'm totally guessing, but
yeah, I thought that was interesting.
But now I want to see the movie. I'm going to be watching the movie to see which way does she actually say it? Does she say it this way or that way, or does she say it both?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting to see.
But I think
I didn't pick up on that. Now I have to go back and watch. It's been a while since I've watched trailer 1, so I'm going to go back and watch it.
Yeah. I've rewatched it before this as well. But I think it's interesting. Like I said, they're still not marketing it as a part 1, which I get, because like there's some of the marketing thing, like if you market it as a part 1, then there could be people that are less likely to go see it. Like Dune did that.
I think a lot of people would not want to go see it because they'd wait till both of them are out.
Right.
Like you would binge a show, right? Like you wait till the whole season is out so you can watch the whole thing. But a lot of people won't go see part 1 if they know there's going to be a second part of it.
Right. So like Dune, for example, when that came out a few years ago, it was a big thing. They had planned. They knew it was going to end before the book had, or even the old movie did. But they didn't market it as Dune Part 1. It was just Dune.
Right.
And so that's similar to what they're doing here. So I don't fault them too much for that. But like I said, I think still it's curious where all the runtime is going to come from. And I also feel like it's kind of fucked up, like for a part 1, that then your tag in the trailer is discover everything that happened before Dorothy. Like, we are only getting half of
you liars. That's fucked up. You mean by everything, you mean half of everything.
Right. So I don't know
That's fucked up.
Where part 1 will end, because like Act 1 of the musical ends at Defying Gravity. So that's where you have the big Act 1 closer. Boom. And so I would have thought maybe you do that with a movie. However, from the trailers, which they shot everything at the same time, so they could just be editing it in there. But like the statue of the Wicked Witch burning, my thought would be that would be something that take place in part 2. However, if you're familiar with the musical, the opening number is all the Munchkins, good news, she's dead. In that,
she's dead,
and that's when Glinda comes down and she starts telling the story. And so there could be a chance that scene is actually at the very beginning of it. I don't know.
It seemed like in the trailer that was going to be the way that they do it. At least that's how they set up the trailer.
Glinda
the first
coming down
moment in the second trailer is the bubbling of the witch and the So, and they're saying, good news, ding dong, the witch is dead.
Yeah. So,
but
I don't know. I'm interested. I still don't visually. I feel like the CGI, unlike Dr. Dillamond, the goat, and everything just CGI kind of looks very CGI-y, and everything looks very like the color grading, and it just looks very fake, and it looks like a set and very polished. Like everything really looks so polished, but it could be intentional too, because like that's how the Wizard of Oz is too. When you like it's older, but when you get to the Munchkins and the Yellow
is supposed
Road,
to be it's supposed to be very bright colors and like really offsetting from the black and white. So I get that. Oz could just be in generally like shinier and prettier than our world would be, right?
Yeah. And I thought, I can't remember. Did you watch the international trailer as well, or just trailer 2? Because the international trailer, I thought it was interesting.
I don't know. Is that trailer 1? I watched the first one that came out. Was that what you're talking about?
No, there were 2 that came out this week at the same time. So there's trailer 2 and trailer 2 international. The international one does not have Defying Gravity playing throughout the whole trailer. It ends with the little clips of it. And it also focuses more on the storyline about the animals losing their ability to speak, and Elphaba wanting to help that, and Dr. Dilliman being taken away. Things like that are featured more heavily in that trailer.
Interesting.
So I thought that was interesting that internationally the marketing is going that direction with it. And so I don't know.
They don't think Americans will be so
we don't give a fuck
sentimental about animals that are getting screwed over. Apparently we don't care.
Apparently not.
That's not something that's going to make us want to go watch the movie.
Yeah, well, like
I would love to read the data behind these like marketing agencies that they're using for these things, because I would love to know the data sets that they analyze in order to say, for the international version, we want to focus more on the suffering animals.
Right.
Because that is what internationally will touch people.
But it's also
in America, fuck that shit.
Right.
We don't need to be talking about hurt animals, okay? Nobody gives a shit about that here.
It focuses more on the animals, and then the wizard being kind of a piece of shit a little bit more. Because, like, the wizard gives a line in that trailer, too, that says the best way to bring folks together is to give them a really good enemy.
A real enemy,
And I think that was in the first trailer, the first US trailer, too. Is in one of them. It might have been in this one this week.
It's definitely in the second one, for sure, but I think it was in the first one, too. I think it was.
So I don't know,
because that's the crux of it, right? Is to like she becomes the enemy because she was made to be the enemy,
right? So I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm still really excited about it, even though with it being PG and some of these other things, like we've talked about in on the pod before, and I talked about it a lot about like the Shrek one. Like, yeah, the production value of this revamped touring show was down. So yeah, the visuals and some of that stuff in the Wicked movie might be slightly distracting, but ultimately what I go to a musical for is for the songs, the music, those performances. And now watching a movie versus being in a live audience and feeding off that energy is completely different. But still, I'm really excited for the vocal performances, because even though Ariana Grande kind of seems off, looks off, and her line delivery of the speaking lines is weird for me.
Pipes that will like fucking blow your mind.
Yeah, I think she's gonna crush all of those songs, and Cynthia Erivo definitely is too. So I don't know. And Jonathan Bailey is insanely talented as Fiyero, and Ethan Slater as Bach. We saw the first clip.
I only know him as Bridgerton. I only know him as Anthony Bridgerton, and he can do whatever he wants.
There's a clip of him singing from a tryout or I don't know if it was an audition or a rehearsal for The Last 5 Years, which is one of my favorite musicals we've discussed on here, and him singing a song in there, and he is absolutely fantastic. So I'm excited for his performances.
I had no idea he could sing like that until you told me about that, and then I went and looked it up, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So the fact that he came out on Bridgerton before anything else, really, was like, it almost... I didn't know he could be any better.
Yep.
And he is, because he can sing. So I can't wait to see that. He's just a beautiful sculpted masterpiece of a human. So that will be fun to watch, regardless of the rest of it.
There you go. I
am excited. Tell us, what is the release date? Because I have already forgotten.
I think Thanksgiving. I don't know if it's exactly Thanksgiving, but it's right around Thanksgiving.
Somewhere in the end of November.
They say coming this Thanksgiving in the trailer.
Oh, okay. So maybe it will be released on Thanksgiving Day.
Right around there. So a couple months.
So I will definitely be able to watch that, and then we're gonna obviously do an episode right after it comes out. We will talk about it, because we will be both either very excited to gush about it or very excited to hate on it.
Exactly.
And so that'll be interesting.
Yes, it will be.
But I think that pretty much wraps up.
No more notes.
No more notes?
No more notes. I have no more notes.
Folks, this is a day that we should all remember. We have reached the end of Matthew Hansen's notes.
Well, I did skip some notes, but that was intentional. I had lots of notes.
Damn
See,
it.
all my notes.
God damn it.
All my notes.
I can never win. I can just never win.
You can't.
Here I thought. But then again, I knew.
You did.
And that, folks, wraps up our episode about Wicked / wrestling / random vocal warm-ups / whatever the hell
difficulties / all the stuff.
Whatever we bitched and moaned about for the first 20 minutes of this episode. What did we even talk about? I don't know. But I'm sure you will put it in our bloopers, so that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were.
I'm not going to touch anything.
Oh, Snow White. We were talking about Snow White. So
Snow White, yes.
That's right. All right.
Wicked Witch.
Sign us off.
Stepmother always gets shafted. Alrighty. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in.
Shafted?
Huh?
Shafted?
Shafted.
Should be happier then.
Correct. That's not. That's not what it. That's not what it means.
No. You have the shaft, and you. No. No. Right.
I mean, you make sense, but not what it means.
Ooh.
Anyway.
Anywho,
okay. Thank you so much for listening, tuning in, whatever, subscribing. You guys are awesome. Again, I reiterate, if you would like me to be part of the wrestling world, I would like to know why I should be part of the wrestling world. And if you can give me a valid argument, and I don't mean you, Matt, I mean anyone out there, give me a valid argument as to why I should be a wrestling fan, and maybe I will give it a shot. But I need to know why. And so comment on that, or comment on Wicked and tell us what you think, or tell us what you think we should do as our musical this month or in the next month or two, because we are open always. We don't have things planned out in advance necessarily. We are open to ideas, and if there's something you want us to talk about, we're always cool with that. And I think that really wraps it up. So subscribe, like, all the things you're supposed to do that I'm supposed to say at the end of this episode. And otherwise, we'll see you guys later. Don't forget to go down. Bye.
Later. I don't think so. At one time, the only thing that people could come at me, we were talking about the Snow Wives and the Seven Dwarves movie. I'm like, I think the politically correct term now is little people, but I could be wrong, and so maybe I just offended everyone. But I'm pretty sure it's little people.
That, but
little people are dwarves.
Sure you're right, because
I think they went away from dwarves.
17 shows on Bravo about little people.
That's right.
If Bravo can say little people over and over and over again, I think the rest of us are okay.
I did also say that I thought Gal Gadot's more attractive than Rachel Zegler. So her as the evil queen in the Snow White movie, and Rachel Zegler Snow White. Didn't get it. But also animated.
You could definitely divide the world with that one.
Animated evil queen is also hotter than Snow White. So
I agree with that.
But then Snow White and the Huntsman, I also think Charlize Theron is more attractive than Kristen Stewart.
Way more attractive. And way cooler of a character. Like, the Snow White character was like...
Basically what we're learning is that the mirror is just a fucking liar. So that's what we know about Snow White.
He just had enough one day. He was like, nah, I'm not going to tell this bitch that she's the prettiest anymore. I'm just going to give some rando out there the title so she gets all crazy and homicidal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I think that's what it is. I mean, I'd do it too.
He's like, I'm in this fucking mirror. I can't do jack shit about this.
Might as well fuck with your ass.
Yeah. I'm going to have this keep like that. Maybe that's where the book was where negging got started. That was the mirror's plan. He's like, I'm gonna tell this hot chick that she's ugly as shit and there's someone hotter than her now, and then it's gonna drive her insane and she's gonna prove that she's the hottest.
He started the mind games that we're all having to endure these days.
I think this goes back to the magic mirror. It's the magic mirrors.
Might have an actual point here.
Okay,
I think he was the first.
We're not actually in the podcast right now. We haven't done an intro. This is random. This has to get put in though.
This is just.
So I'm going to put.
Can
this
you imagine
in.
if our podcast didn't have any topic at all? This is what it would just be like. Like we'd just be sitting here bullshitting about nothing for hours of the time.
It works.
But it might actually be better than what we do.
I mean, maybe, because there's such a thing as like overproducing things. To be clear,
right.
I don't think we do that, but
we are not on the list of the overproduced.
No, that is not a concern.
However, I do think sometimes it's entertaining just to watch people talk if they're like entertaining people, you know. And I have no idea. I am not the source of all wisdom on what is entertaining, and I cannot say whether or not we are to the other people. But I find us very entertaining.
I do as well.
I think we're great. But
same. Should we start this actual podcast now?
I guess.
Should we? Okay.
We must.
All right. You ready?
Hit us. And what is it? Action. I forget the word. And action. I'm sorry. Okay. You start.
Okay. Someone locked their car.
You can hear that?
I heard that.
You are a good mic.
Yep. All right. What's up, everyone?
All right, let's go.
God damn it.
Okay, I'm shutting up for real.
What's up, everyone? Well, you did.
I snorted like a little Miss Piggy.
Calm yourself now. You good?
I got the snort out. I should be good now.
Okay, good. Good. Okay.